everybody, and welcome to a very special Survivor weekly recap show with myself and Comedy Jonah. I will get more to this fashion accessory in a moment, but first, let me remind you guys that if you've missed any of our shows back, you can catch them all over on our website, yourrealityrecaps.com/Survivor. You can check out all of our recap shows from this season of Survivor, as well as all the previous seasons of Survivor that we have covered. You can also check out our post-season Big Brother 21 shows with house guests like Nicole, basically everyone. We've done the shows with everyone from Big Brother 21. Of course, all the seasons of Big Brother for the past 10 years. You can check out our Amazing Race shows, Challenge, Drag Race, Bravo, Housewives recap shows, everything over on our website. We hope that you guys will give them a watch. That really is a great way to help support our shows, as is thumbsing up and subscribing if you are watching in YouTube, hitting the bell, leaving a comment below on YouTube or our website, 5-star rating and a nice review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to our podcasts. We would really appreciate that. Of course, just sharing our shows, putting them in places where people haven't seen them before is so incredibly helpful. We really, really appreciate when you guys spread the word, tell your friends, put them in groups or places where you think people might enjoy them. We really, really appreciate when you guys do that. Of course, if you guys want to watch us do this show live, make sure that you download the TVCo app. You can get it at yourrealityrecaps.com/TVCo or your favorite app store. That way you can participate live with the chat. You can win $100 now every week during our draft game for Survivor at the end of the shows, so make sure you guys do that. Of course, we are also live in YouNow every single day, so make sure you follow us over there, yourrealityrecaps.com/YouNow. If you want to help support our shows, consider becoming a patron at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. Patrons get access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows just for patrons. Of course, the after shows with the BB21 house guests are there from this season, past season. It's just a great way to help financially support our shows. You could also do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal, or if you have any Amazon shopping to do, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon. You don't pay any more, and it really helps support our shows. Sincerely, on behalf of all of my medical bills, I really appreciate all of your guys' support. That being said, I couldn't do this show without my co-hostess with the mostest. It's Comedy Jonah.
Oh my gosh, I barely survived the reward challenge. Oh my god, I see you. We both barely survived the reward challenge.
First of all, you look like Mrs. Doubtfire.
I'm not even wearing a wig or a dress or anything.
Can you go like, hello, like that?
Hello! Hello, I just survived the reward challenge. Oh, I see my competitors too. Oh.
Well, you look lovely, and it's great to see you, John Richardson.
So great to see you.
So,
what happened?
Well, we're going to spend exactly 1 minute on letting everyone know the drama that John and I have had to endure. Basically, earlier this week, John lost his dog and found...
all about that now.
And then
trying to make me cry.
and found him. So thank you to everybody that shared that on social media and spread the word. Everything is good with your precious little Mookie now, John?
It is. I was thinking about doing a patron show on Sunday, cooking, giving away free meal kits, and we can all kind of, berate Mookie about wandering off out the front door of my parent-in-law's house.
Well, I am glad that your doggy is home and safe. I have decided to try a new fashion trend. I don't know why everyone is acting like this is a weird thing. It's called facial accessories.
I know. You see it on the Housewives all the time.
You do. I wish this was for great reasons. I was supposed to have a tooth pulled, and then, I put it off for a year because I'm terrified of dentists. Yada, yada, yada. Tooth broke. Infection, not infection. Abscess. Infection that then went into my jaw. It's been a fun week.
I thought maybe you got a chin implant
No.
or you got some of this shaved off so you look a little younger.
I wish.
Yeah,
No.
I'm gonna use the tooth thing too. That's a good one.
It is. But, whatever. I should hopefully be fine in about 2 weeks. So yay for that. But the show must go on.
Of course.
The show must go on. I said I couldn't talk for the past few days, and I was at the dentist yesterday, and he said, what do you do for work? You should take a week off work. And I said, I talk for a living.
You take a week off?
Yeah, and he was like, you probably shouldn't talk for a week. And I went, well, that's not a possibility, so what can we do about that?
Why are Argos black? What?
We're black everywhere. So I said, I'd really like one of those Novocaine shots. And he said, okay. And I said, do it. I said, I'll be there tomorrow.
Like in your jaw? Like in...
2 of them. I got it about...
That's the worst thing. That's worse.
And no, it's... Then that should tell you how much pain I'm in right now.
Ooh.
But it is nothing compared to the pain of thinking that I could lose my precious Dean tonight on Survivor, John.
No, I know. Detective Dean is what I like to call him now.
Detective Dean looking for answers at the start of the episode.
Absolutely, because we see that, he's mourning Chelsea, right? He is upset, he's blindsided, he's alone. I thought of you if you were just there, comforting him. It's going to be okay.
It is going to be okay. And I also have to say, just very quickly, John, like Dean, and detective work, people need clues to find things, like this show. So what I forgot to tell all of you was, make sure you hit the 3 little dots right now and share the show. This is a great time to do it when John and I look like this and everyone can see. So click the 3 little dots in the TV Co app, share the show, let everyone know that we're live on your favorite social media networks, and don't be shady. I know people are like, I'm not sharing the show, there's more people I have to compete with for the $100. No, share the show, you little ingrates. Don't be a Nora. Share it.
But what you said does make sense.
No, I know it makes sense. I wish I wouldn't have said it.
Well, you're all doped up, so it's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. Speaking of hard, so Detective Dean just gets into gear.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He starts questioning everyone in the tribe. Who is responsible for taking out Chelsea?
Mm-hmm.
He talks to Missy. I assume this was your shot.
And
what do you think about all this questioning?
I like
smart.
Well, first of all, I disagree with what you said in the beginning a little bit about how he was upset about Chelsea. I think he mentioned her one time. He couldn't even care about her. He was like, they're coming after me, they're coming after me, they're coming after me. Right. So I was thrilled about that. I was like, thank God.
I bet you were. I bet you were. Like,
he's all about me.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, I thought the questioning was interesting. Didn't take a super sleuth to figure out that it was Missy.
And, when he was questioning all of them, I mean, why would you even say anything? I don't know, Elaine. I don't know. Nobody ever tells me anything.
Which I thought was very interesting on Elaine's end, because we saw in the last episode, she was one of the people fighting so hard for it not to be Dean. I would have thought that she would have wanted Dean to know, this is who it is, and by the way, I was fighting hard for you to stay here. So I was surprised that she was just like, what? I don't know, what could it
be? Well, I mean, she doesn't really know what Grey Poupon is. She does now, at least. But I don't know. I think she was just trying to be like, I don't know. He kind of came at her a little hot. So maybe that intimidated her a little bit. Maybe she felt she couldn't, square off in a wrestling match with him. So she just kept it neutral.
True. I like how Missy's little confessional was like, oh, Dean, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Episode title. Because she's like, I saved you, Dean. I saved you. It was going to be you, and then I switched it to your precious girlfriend. So you better be careful, Dean. Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Well, isn't it funny when every time, every season, someone gets a little power and then all of a sudden they just turn into these power monsters. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Nobody ordered the hit, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm just like, oh my gosh, she went from I'm a survivor, I'm this, I defeated that, to
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it always happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, I'm just not a fan of Missy. And not just because she's going for my precious Dean, I just feel like she's trying to be a villain, but isn't all there as a villain. It's like, I get it, you need to be on the, offensive in Survivor, but it seems like she's on the offensive with not a clear strategy. It's just, I don't like Dean, and is going after him, I don't really like him.
What is? I mean, her strategy does seem a little off, and when we learn in this episode later, when she's talking with Jamal,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think her true kind of, final two is definitely with him.
I think so too. So over to the reward, which I'm dying to talk to you about reward.
Well, before reward, we have a tribe swap. We drop the buffs.
Sure, drop the buffs.
And we repick new teams.
Mm-hmm.
So the new Vokai is Tommy, Lauren, Dan,
Mm-hmm.
Jason, Missy, Elaine, Elizabeth, and Aaron.
And they're equally split 4-4, so that's kind of an even tribe.
4, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine just felt great that her survivor luck and all those survivor gods and everybody else is shining light down on her, because she told Jeff immediately she's not lucky at all, even though she's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone likes her, but now she's on a team split 4-4. She couldn't be in a better position.
I know.
We learned that the new Laredo is Jamal, Jack, Janet, Nora,
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
our dear athletic puzzle crazy gal, Karishma, and Dean are on there, and that's a 5-3 split.
Right, with old Vokai having the majority.
Correct.
So not looking good for our Dean, as he mentions in his confessional.
Or Karishma again.
It's just fucking vulnerable. Something's happening to her. I don't even get it. I don't even understand why we're protecting her anymore. I don't get it.
Because she's a bloodless vote. No blood on your hands if you get rid of her.
Yeah, or win some challenges and you don't have to get rid of her.
Well, we learn later on what a physical threat she is in this reward.
God, I can't wait. So can we talk about, before we talk about the reward challenge, what the reward is? Because I love how Jeff set this up.
Oh my, yeah, I have it highlighted on my notes, but I'm good. Since you can talk now, I will give it to you.
Well, I'm just going to say, I just love how Jeff presented it as, this is our best reward of the season.
A once-in-a-lifetime reward on Survivor.
Let me break this down for you people. Applebee's would be my last choice. I don't know, I think I would literally rather eat at, a fast food buffet anywhere. Just no. Who eats at Are we pretending like Applebee's is fine dining now? Applebee's smells like mold and feet in anyone I've ever walked in. I've been in Applebee's 3 times in my life. It's disgusting.
Hasn't Applebee's been on there before? This was a lot of product placement, as we, go past the reward challenge and into it. What was the last one? Marie Callender's. So have we upgraded now to Applebee's? Because the last once in a lifetime reward was Marie Callender's or a Sonic's or what? What? I'd rather have a White Castle. I'd rather have a White Castle or an In-N-Out.
I'd literally rather have a peanut butter and jelly. I would have been like, can I just trade it for a peanut butter? I loved how Jamal... with the crust. I love how Jamal was like, and all the fixins? And what all the fixins? It's Applebee's. It is Applebee's. I could literally name 15 other restaurants I'd want ahead of Applebee's.
I love the plated food too. Like we got to see it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this was product placement at its best.
Oh, at its best for sure. I was just like, I wished that I would just like to go and Google, like, when people take the picture of their food at Applebee's, like, this is what you ordered. This is what you got.
Well, I love that that they were coached even before they could start even eating, because they're like, we got to get you excited. You're not going to have anything if you don't get excited. Oh, look at the drinks, the ocean floor drink with the rubbery gummy shark in it. Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Like, this is the best thing I've ever had in my mouth.
Their overreaction to it, I forgot what's his name, Jason was like, oh, he just like kept touching his face and shaking. I'm like, it's a piece of shrimp.
Right? We know, and nothing's kosher here. When you're on an island starving.
And it's going to be like, all I would think of when I saw that would be diarrhea. It's Applebee's.
Like it would be diarrhea on normal circumstances.
Yeah.
Now you've been starving and just eating rice. You know it's going through you. Yeah. And you know what color it's going to be? It's going to be blue.
Shark bowl blue.
Shark bowl blue.
I forgot also, here was our little tribe swap photo. I forgot I had a little photo there
it is.
Of our little tribe swappy.
All over the place.
I just thought it was absolutely ridiculous to be like, oh, Applebee's is the best. Yanisa in chat says Eric is not going to be sponsored by Applebee's anytime soon. I'm good.
See, I heard Oprah's voice. Once in a lifetime reward.
I could literally think of, I could probably, if you forced me to, name 999 other things that would be a better reward than Applebee's. So they'd be like, nope. I'm like, I'm good. So good. But no, it was very, very funny. Now, go ahead. Explain what this reward challenge was, John.
So, our reward challenge is when the players have their feet tied together, their arms bound to their side, and they must slither through obstacles on the sand and race to the finish line to put together a fire puzzle.
Slam their faces into that sand
slam.
I'm sorry, I did not understand what these people's approach were. They were acting like, when you see the first teams that went out, like they were sitting up and then they just instantly smashed their faces into that. I'm like, you could have went down gently. So you slamming your face into the sand is not making you go any quicker. I didn't get it.
Well, I mean, because they were on hills too, but then, we hear Karishma, nobody knows what I can do. They don't know what a physical threat I am. We've heard this in, voting, whatever. Now's your chance. Now's your chance to show us.
Well, she didn't.
Well, she didn't. And she's now, not only are your feet tied together, or your feet tied together and your hands are bound, but you're also tied to the other person. So you've got Nora, big mouth Nora, taking in a ton of sand, but can still talk, going up the hill. It's just laying there. And she's having to drag her and go, come on, girl. Come on.
I have to say, I had a lot more respect for Nora on this.
I did too.
Watching her pull Karishma. But here's the thing. Everybody is putting a lot of blame on Karishma because, like, in this reward challenge, we saw Volkai fly through, get right to the puzzle first, start doing it. But I don't understand why no blame was put on Tom and Janet. Tom and Janet didn't even make it to the second person. There were like, the 3 spots. Tom and Janet didn't even make it to the second group, which I think was Dean and the young kid. Volkai was already at the puzzle, yet none of the blame is being put on Tom and Janet for taking that long to just make it to the second spot. Everything always falls on Karishma, which I don't get.
Well, neither Tom or Janet had to drag either one of each other up the hill, being senior citizens that they are. AARP, cover shot right there. Look at them. They can still do it. Where you've got Karishma. I can't.
I get it, but still.
She can't. But then what else is she going to do? She can't do the puzzle. You know that. There's nothing else to do in this challenge.
All I'm saying is, if they would have made it to the second team in any length of time, it could have helped them catch up more. And I just think it's ridiculous that we completely exclude the fact that the other team made it completely to the puzzle in the time it just took for Tom and Janet to get to the second of 3 people. We just ignore that.
I totally get that. But, we've also ignored Dean, the fact that he's assisted a lot in the puzzle challenges with Karishma, yet Karishma gets blamed for this as well. Only sole blame.
Yeah. Well, I'm a sack of potatoes, chat room says. I agree. She's a sack of potatoes. Yes, 100%. So, were you at all surprised with Volkai winning that challenge?
Not at all. As soon as they had to drop the buffs, I knew who was going to be winning again.
It's unbelievable. It's like Lyro can't win to save their lives.
And no one even switching them all up. They still can't. And they got Volkai people outnumbered on that, and they're still losing.
Literally,
the BG curse, girl.
There is 100%. So then what was that? So then we went over to the Applebee's meal. Now they're eating good in the neighborhood.
There are no neighborhoods where they are, but sure.
They're like, this is so tasty. We have our shark bowl.
Now, when I first saw them, like they had the cameras pan, they're like, look at there's spinach dip and there's the loaded, poppers or whatever. I thought that's all they were getting was these blue drinks and that. I thought that's kind of cheap even on Applebee's part. But they got to place an order. They had a choice of 3 entrees that they got to place. And as the entrees came out, look at that melted cheese. Oh my gosh, it was just so, that they were coached into doing that.
Oh, 100%.
Very, very, very scripted.
I don't think that they got any sort of actual menu. I think they said, here are the 6 meals that we flew over. We're going to bring it out. We have some red wine, the big thing of beer, and your fish bowl, and we're going to just keep showing that, and everyone's going to be smiling. And where are the breadsticks? Isn't Applebee's the place where they give you the breadsticks?
That's Olive Garden, isn't it?
Probably. Who knows? I don't eat any of those places because they're gross.
Well, excuse me, fancy.
I saw, who said it? Annie in the chat said, no one went to the Island of the Idols, and no explanation why. John and I said this in the first few episodes. How can they? If they keep doing Idol of the Idols every episode, every single person is going to have an immunity.
Well, here's the thing. I was getting all into it with Karishma's story, people flip-flopping on their original tribe, people alliance thingamajigs. Then when we get fast forward, we get to tribal council. There's Rob and Sandra, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. We didn't go to the Island of the Idols, which is the name of the show. Like, what? And did you miss it? I didn't miss it.
I honestly, I don't think they can do it every episode. How could they? Everyone would just end up with an idol.
we're still waiting for the Nora Kelly reunited after Nora came back from the Idol of Islands
Never getting it.
backstory. We have that. So they could have snuck it in and then just edited, and we don't know any of the true dynamics going on.
Correct.
This is when I think I really would like this to be more like Big Brother, so we, can tap into, the feeds 20. Why can't we do that? It's 2019. Why can't we do that? CBS, what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know why we're not allowed more information. Yanisa says in chat, everybody, it really doesn't matter because everybody that has gone there ends up getting voted out. So that's a good point. I mean, not really. Nora wasn't voted out. Kelly hasn't been voted out.
And the Olympic swimmer, Elizabeth's still there.
Yeah. So, I mean, not everybody that goes there has been voted out, but I agree.
Not most of everybody. That's 3.
I mean,
4.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. At least we got a little more game. At least we got a little more game strategy in this episode since we didn't have Island of the Idols.
Absolutely. We see like Tom and Dean jump into trying to forge connections with,
over at Libro now after Applebee's. Yeah.
We see Karishma approach Kelly, talking about how she wanted to flip on her teammates, saying she's, been bullied, gets thrown under a lot.
We also learned about
that she's being bullied. Do we think is that the word?
No, you're not being bullied. I've said this a million times. There's no such thing as bullying in reality television, especially a reality television competition show that you signed up to play knowing the rules for money. You're not being bullied, being on television, playing a game for money, in a game about, with Big Brother, it's more about lying and manipulating. But here, there's also lying and manipulating and strategy and physical things. You're not being bullied. You're playing a game for money.
Right, and I think maybe cutting her hand to the bone
and
no one reacting. That's not being bullied.
No.
Talking about how you're not good at puzzles. Well, that's not being bullied because we actually all saw it.
You're a team. Everyone on that. Yes, there's only going to be one winner, but the one winner gets there based on the team. So you're being judged on your performance because you're part of that team that's going to let one of you all win. And that's what you're being judged on. You're not being bullied.
Absolutely. We also, see Karishma talking with her new team, around the campfire, giving us some good moments. We've learned as an Indian woman, as far as wanting to stay covered up was kind of an issue. Not staying more covered up. Now we're talking about arranged marriages. And I really like the fact that she, didn't want to put the stigma on it because, she's in an arranged marriage. I have friends that are Indians that are in arranged marriages that are super happy and love their spouse, like several of them.
Really?
So what did you think about that? Yeah.
I feel horrible. With all respect to different cultures, I understand it is different culture, and I don't understand the Indian culture. I would not want that for me, and hearing her story, I feel bad for her. She is saying, I didn't want this marriage. I'm in this marriage. We're like roommates. We don't even talk. How sad to have to live your life attached to somebody that you feel nothing for, that you don't love, that you're in because someone said you had to be. To me, that's horrible. So I feel bad for her.
Horrible. Absolutely. And she should have said no.
Yeah.
She should have said no, but I have friends that are Indians that are in arranged marriages, and they are happy. They get along. I think almost too with any relationship. Unfortunately, it takes work. And she even admitted to not communicating and just standing there smiling. I don't know how an injury attorney cannot communicate. Like, we're seeing so many issues with communication with her. How are you good at your job? Like, I don't understand. But all joking aside, I do definitely have empathy for her, of course.
Yeah, Maximus Mom brings up a good point. She says Nadia was Indian on Survivor and she kicked ass. We do love our twinnies. We do love our twinnies.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah, no, I agree with that. All I'm saying is I want to root for her. You hear that story and you, I think, can envision what her life must be like. So when then she is struggling to get up a ladder or struggling to crawl through the sand or do these things, like, you want to root for her. Like, I want her to have this win. I want her to have these personal victories because I'm like, I want you to see that you can do it here and apply it to your real life.
Oh, totally.
Then you're just horrible at everything.
Well, you got to try, right? You got to try in real life. You got to try when you're on a competition reality show. And I think, that's something I, too, agree with you. And I want to root for her and I want her to do better. And, by the grace of the Survivor God, she's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, even though she's an easy pick and maybe you don't get blood on your hands with her, that's not a bad position we've learned you don't to be in. So
it's not.
But still, it was sad.
We also learned over there when they were back at Lyro that Dean and Kelly have a real life mutual friend. Dean dated one of her friends. Insane.
From school.
Now.
School.
And they're like, "Ooh, we just figured that out right now." Mm-hmm. I'm so sure you didn't know that before.
Well, they weren't on the same team, so how could they know?
Oh, they have eyeballs. They can see each other.
They're on different teams.
They meet up at challenges. I'm just saying, I think there's a little preseason alliance happening with those two. I would not be surprised.
Just stuff like I want to know, like, how close is Kelly with the girlfriend?
Mm-hmm. I think,
Well,
I think close enough that they have a preseason alliance.
I mean, was this something like a girlfriend that went to business school? Was she an acquaintance? Did she kind of maybe Kelly stalk her and then see who she was dating? And then now she's on Survivor and it happens to be the guy or the girl that she stalked who she was dating? Like, that's what I want to know. Because that was a little weird.
It was a little bit weird. It was also weird the way that Kelly kind of in her confessional was like, I don't know, do I want to be in a showmance with Dean? I was like, well, you just went from A to Z really quick.
What I mean.
You went from like A to Z instantly.
What is that movie, like Single White Female or whatever? Like, she's just like, oh, my girlfriend dated you, so I want to date you too. I'm going to have a showmance. It was so weird. I'm like, what? Like, I was rooting for you. You're doing smart. You're playing smart. And then all of a sudden, she had a kind of a weird stocky comment.
Mm-hmm. It was very weird. I didn't get it.
Not a girl's girl. Not a girl's girl.
I think we'll find out more about that, if not in the real world and on social media. Detectives will get all on top of that, but maybe more as the season goes on, we'll find more about that. And then I think the only other last thing that happened there was Aaron and Tommy wanting to work together, which I thought was surprising.
Very surprising.
Aaron and Tommy deciding, let's protect each other. With whatever happens, if I win an immunity, I'll keep you safe. If you win one, you keep me safe. We gotta work together. Those are two people I did not expect to see working together at all.
Oh, absolutely.
And then cut to Aaron and Missy being like, we're ready to kill Orange. They're like, we're done with Lyra. We're killing it. We're going all Vokai.
Wait, you're going all over the place.
No, that was next.
Look at all my highlights I have. Well, I have next. I have the wrestling.
Go ahead, wrestling. Go.
No, so yeah, I want to jump back to Missy doing that with Jamal. It's like, what happened to the Girl Alliance?
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever one? She is. She's really kind of controlling the game a little bit with the girls. Jamal's her final two, it looks like. Kill Orange. She's become a godfather.
Here's what I hope versus what I'm afraid of. I hope they're just giving her this edit so that we're all surprised when she gets blindsided. versus what I'm afraid of. She's gonna make it to the end game, and they're giving us these pieces of her story to make it make sense when she gets there. Oh, I hope that's. Oh, I hope that's not it. I mean,
Oh, when she's pleading and talking about, well, this is what I did here, and this is what I, her Survivor resume is what I'm talking about.
yeah. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
as we are aware, there is so little actual plot and game that they can cram into this episode. They have been spending several scenes so far this season giving us Missy's gameplay versus the things we actually want to know, and I don't understand why they're doing that. So they're either doing that because Missy's making it to the end of this game, or they're setting us up for some big blind side of Missy soon. I hope it's that one.
So keeping that Missy loves to wrestle with Elaine clip in. What was that? What?
I don't know.
I mean, they were wrestling. Missy fell like on a tree like root or something, partial trunk. Like all the ways you could injure yourself. What did you go? You would go home. What were you doing? I was wrestling with Elaine.
I mean, I know why Elaine wanted to do it, but I don't know why Missy wanted to do it.
Well, I think we might be learning a lot more about Missy. I think you're absolutely right. Maybe this is the episode where we're just really learning, not just her Survivor resume, but maybe her personal resume. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Scissor.
If Dean was like, let's wrestle, I'd be like, yes, please. I'd be like, oh, pin me. Oh, I'm down. Oh, I'm down. Oh, I think he knocked me out and he knocked him out.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, come on, Tommy. Let's do it.
Yanisa says, who has the energy to waste wrestling? I agree too. I thought that as well. Survivor, we've always seen about the people like, though is someone gets the edit of, I'm laying around camp. I'm not wasting my energy getting water and this other thing and other thing. These people are wrestling each other.
But I want to know, has other people wrestled in the past that we just haven't seen it? Like, it just seemed very weird. And then everyone's standing around like they had, money, and they were just like, maybe,
again,
I don't know, should there have been mud? Should there have been like a mud pit or what?
And I'm sure I am just thinking way too much into this with my drugged brain, but again, why are we wasting 3 minutes on non-lesbian wrestling when we are not allowed to watch a Nora and a Kelly have a conversation about Island of the Idols? There's all these conversations we'd actually like to see. We have 3 minutes on lady wrestling.
Right. We've got Elaine. We get it, Elaine. You like the ladies.
You get it.
Touching the ladies. You're like throwing them over your shoulder in the water. You're like wrestling them on land. We get it. Okay. But were they trying to fill time because there just maybe wasn't enough footage in this episode? And all they had was, well, we can't talk about Nora and Kelly. There was one point where I thought they might.
Yeah.
And then they shaded right over it.
Miss Jenny Talley says, so true. The game talk this year is so weird. The non-game talk edit this year is so weird. I agree. It is very weird. So over to immunity.
So we've got another water challenge. Lots of water.
Very important.
Right up the.
Well, yes. I just have to ask you before you get into it, and I'm going to ask you about the reward first, because we always need to check in with John on this. It has now become a thing that I see people asking about in the YouTube comments. So first, John, in regards to the reward challenge, was this challenge too difficult or not difficult enough for you? The reward challenge for Applebee's.
Oh, the Applebee's reward challenge?
Yeah.
It was super difficult.
Okay, that one was too hard for John. Crawling in the sand and putting together a 6-piece puzzle, too hard.
The reward of a lifetime.
Right.
That's why the reward of the lifetime needed to be there, because you're flopping around like a sea lion
But you're never going to understand what you're looking for in a challenge. Okay, now over to this immunity challenge, John. Is this immunity challenge, is this a good level of difficulty for you? Where does John rate the difficulty
Easy.
level of this one? Easy. Okay, this one also
Easy
too
peasy,
easy.
Easy peasy.
Also too easy. Okay, so start of the challenge was up the ladder and dive off?
I dive off and seen Elaine, our sweet, sweet Elaine,
Uh-huh.
go head first.
Uh-huh. Into the water.
Into the water. Where am I? And Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Watching them jump off the ladder was hilarious.
And then
Yeah, and I love watching people just wet. I love them frolicking. I love them jumping off ladders into water. I love them just releasing buoys like they had to. I love them. Everyone has to get on the dock. I loved Jeff going, and there's Karishma in last place. No, I'm not, Jeff.
Yeah,
Looking back at him, like I love that.
So like you said, jump off the ladder into the water, release the buoys, and they have to put the buoys on the little thing and carry it across, as shown here.
Oh yeah.
And
balancing them, yes.
And they are acting like Karishma is a million miles behind. She's like 4 steps behind the other people, and just like, boy, Karishma's really bombing this for the team. She's literally 1 foot behind the other girl on the ladder. She's really bombing this.
Jeff doesn't like her, does he?
He doesn't like women.
He doesn't like
No, he doesn't. Why are we laughing? It's sad. He only wants penises to win.
Far behind, and it was like, oh, there she is in last place. No, I'm not, Jeff. Oh, somebody help her up onto the dock. I got it myself. I can do it. I can do it.
It's like, I forget who the people on the other dock were. Just like he said, they put the 3 balls on. He's like, Karishma's only putting 2 balls on. It's like, I only have 2 hands, Jeff.
She was bombing one of the people that were balancing it across the balance beams, and then their ball fell, and it's like, oh, Karishma,
yeah,
let's start over.
just like, from now on, when anything goes wrong on future seasons, I'm gonna call it getting Karishma.
I was yelling at what was going on. I got a splinter, Karishma.
She's gonna start.
I got a splinter to the bone.
He wakes up in the middle of the night and he just sits up in a cold sweat and goes, Karishma. It's like, shut up, Jeff.
I think we know who you're going to be for Halloween, Jeff.
Karishma, you're obsessed with her. Is absolutely ridiculous. So they of course, Volkai gets there first. They get their balls released. They go across that balance beam, and then all they have to do is make it to the next dock and shoot 3 hoops. They get there first with Missy. Missy instantly sings her first, hoop in.
Basketball star, yeah.
Basketball star. Then I think it was Tommy ended up going second. He gets the second ball in. We finally see Lyro catch up. Dean, our Division 1 basketball player, gets his first 2 balls in right away. So Dean really does close that gap for Lyro very well. He really does. But unfortunately, it is Tommy who sinks that 3rd basket in and wins immunity for Volkai. Again, Lyro has not won a damn thing this whole season.
They've won 1.
Have they?
Mm-hmm.
What one did they win?
That's what Jeff said.
Did he? I don't remember them winning any this season. All right, so they won 1 this season. Whatever. I don't, is there anything that you think can happen for Lyro to win one of these challenges? Do you think it really is simple as they just have to get rid of Karishma?
Well, no, I don't even know if it's well, then Jeff would have no one to talk to. I don't know it's even that, because, as we want to start to get into, tribal council and stuff, and even some of the conversations that they had as far as who they want to get rid of. And again, Karishma is, an easy vote. We're gonna get ready to start going to another merge. So do we get rid of the strong players here so that You know, if we got strong players now and we're losing. So should we shed them off, keep losing, and then we're forced to go to a merge because we just won't have any more team members and cross our fingers that we don't get voted out?
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a yin and a yang. So, and we saw that in Tribal Council.
Well, that was kind of the discussion that they had right before Tribal Council, right? Like when Lyra was back at the beach, they were like, what are we doing? We're torn between, do we go Karishma? Do we go Dean? We also were reminded, or Tom. They didn't really focus on Tom at all, which was my little key factor of, I bet it's going to be Tom, since we're not even mentioning him, putting all the focus on Karishma or Dean. We're not even acknowledging Tom.
And another thing that I noticed too is Nora just talking this and that and yin and yang. You don't even have a vote. Well, if I have to vote this way and I've got to vote this, you don't have a vote, Nora.
I agree. And I'm glad that they reminded us that she doesn't have a vote. So I'll come back to that in a minute when we do votes, because I'm very confused about that. But this is again why I say I feel like Kelly and Dean do have something pre-season, because Kelly, very much in her side interviews and her conversations, they were very much trying to make us feel like Kelly was not going to side with Dean at all. And they tried to make us feel like Dean was the one going. And then we end up seeing Dean didn't even get any votes. Just makes me think Kelly is tighter to Dean than she's leading on.
Well, I definitely think that, and I definitely think she was just kind of throwing that off a little bit, because when we saw the three women walking on the beach, Janet kind of had a conversation with Tom, Kelly had one with Dean, who was it? Nora had one with Karishma. So they were all just kind of like, but we're not attached to him. We're not attached at all. So they were very kind of clear with that on the beach. So
exactly.
I thought that was interesting. But I knew as soon as Kelly made that comment, I knew it. I knew he wasn't going anywhere. I thought of you, that your boy lives another week, and but I really thought Karishma was probably the one going home.
Well, what about the Janet and Dean, when Dean is like, I had personal conversations with everybody on Vokai, and Janet's like, not me, bitch. You didn't have any conversation with me.
But I get really nervous about when, taking people side to side, one-on-one and talking to them. And she's like, well, how did you talk to the other people? Oh, I took them on the side one-on-one and I talked to them.
Janet is not feeling Dean.
I was so scared for Dean. And then we saw, Rob and Sandra all cooped up in their little thing going, oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good for Dean. And to me, I was like, oh, that's right. Rob and Sandra.
Right. And I also thought that Dean made a very good point, because that looked really bad for Dean. That is when Rob was like, oh, Dean is going. But then Dean turned it around when he was like, look, you're going to go into the merge. It is clear that Karishma has ties on the other side because she was saved. I was blindsided. That whole team worked together to save her. Is that who you're going to keep? I thought that was a brilliant play on Dean's part to bring that up.
It was so brilliant, and it saved his butt, which we saw.
It did. So the votes... The votes came out. Now, this is what I think is very interesting in the votes, and I want to know what you think, and people can comment below or comment in chat. So the votes were between Tom and Karishma, and this is the way that Jeff read the votes. He goes, first vote, Tom. Second vote, Karishma. Third vote, Tom. Tom, Karishma. Then he goes, and the fifth person voted out is Tom. And he goes, that's 5 votes. That's enough. Tom, you've been, voted out. However, that was the 7th vote, 5 for Tom, 2 for Karishma. We know Nora did not get a vote. That is all of the votes. So there was no more votes for you to read, Jeff. That was all the votes. Here's my only point. Are they not telling the people that Nora lost her vote. You get what I'm saying? Like, we know there was not 8 votes because we know Nora lost her vote.
Right, they're not telling people. So let's say Nora had a vote and she voted for Karishma. It still would have been enough.
Right.
Because it's 4 and 4. So all you need to do is get to the 5. So are you saying, like, in the future, are they going to read that vote? Because as we get to less and less castaways, they're going to have to, right? I assume.
I mean, I see people in chat saying they've done that before. He doesn't. No. I understand that he doesn't read all the votes all the time. I'm well aware of that. My point is, are we going to get to see the drama from people not losing their votes? In other words, why make that be the penalty of Island of the Idols if it's never going to be a factor in the game and Jeff is just going to protect the people that have that penalty? Why even bother giving them the penalty if you're protecting the penalty? Then it didn't matter.
But I think too, it's also going to expose their game. So he doesn't have to. Once you get to a point where you've got enough votes, you don't have to read the rest of the votes. But as we get less and less people, you're going to have to read the votes. And then it's going to start exposing people's games. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm a little torn with this season as far as Island of the Idols, because I'm not getting the information that I need, like the Nora and Kelly conversation still that I'm dreading. We're getting a lot of from Nora at the talking about votes and stuff, but she has no votes, sounding like, a villain in a Batman, movie.
Well, let me ask you this. So, I mean, obviously, like we just said, of course, it was Tom who ended up getting voted out. Now, my TiVo did not record the coming attractions for next week. I don't know what happens next week. Do you know? Or did yours skip it as well?
Mine skipped it too. I don't
know why that happened. That was very weird. Well, that's good. Then we're both surprised heading into next week. I like when we're both surprised heading into next week.
Right. Or especially what if they have the Nora and Kelly conversation? Saw the preview.
Well, I also kind of like this, John, because now we get to do our draft game, which has to do all about next week with $100 prize giveaway. But let me ask you this, John. I can either have you stay here for the draft giveaway, or I can let you go. Which would you like? It's going to probably be about, I would say it'll probably last about 10 minutes.
I'll think about. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, let's do it. I want to do it.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this in for this edited playback show just so people can kind of see what it's like. I won't leave these in the future edited versions of it, but just so you guys know, we're going to do this every single week. Going forward, we're going to do this draft game for all of you guys that watch live on TVCo. So you need to make sure that you download the TVCo app and come to the live show to play in this draft game. It is how you can win the $100. So I'm going to let you be Vanna. Now, this is very easy. All you guys need to do is put your answer in the chat. So, it's going to be 5 questions. You're just going to put number 1 and your answer. That is it. And it's more like a guessing game. So, John, I'm going to let you read question number 1. Here it is.
Oh, it's cutting off at the bottom of the screen. All I see is question 1.
Okay. The question is, who will win the immunity challenge? And this is fun, John. You can play again. I'll let you help chat. So question 1 is, who will win the immunity challenge next week? Who do you think will be the winner? Now, you're going to want to put a 1 and who you think will be the winner in the chat.
So you'll put like a 1 and then Volkai.
No, person. So 1 and Dean.
Person.
Or 1 and Missy.
Win it for their tribe.
Right. I'm sorry, immunity challenge. I'm an idiot. You win the immunity. It's for your tribe. Your tribe. It's still a tribe. I'm a moron. So which tribe do you think will win the immunity challenge? I'm on drugs. What's your problem?
I know. It's why I'm here to assist.
Thank you. So yes, which tribe do you think will win immunity? It's Volkai or Lyro. So who do you think's going to win it, John?
Oh, Volkai.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a question. So if you agree and you want Volkai, just put 1 and Volkai. Okay, so second question.
The other one, then you're wrong.
Right. Now, this second one is about a specific person, and we'll go over these again. Question 2, who will go to the island of the idols? Now, keep this in mind. You can also put no one, because as we saw tonight, no one went. So you can either pick a person or go with no one. Who do you think, John?
Janet.
So you're going to go with Janet for who will go to the island of the idols. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can't wait for Janet to go.
All right. Okay. So you're going to want to put a 2 in chat and then who you think is going to go to the island of the idols. Okay. Question number 3 is which tribe will win the reward? So we are hopefully having reward challenges now. Which tribe do we think will win the reward? Volkai or Lyro?
Volkai.
I mean, I would not vote against Volkai for anything at this point, as long as Karishma's around. Seem to be pretty much a layups here. Karishma's a big wet blanket on that. Okay, so you're going to put a 3, and which tribe you think for 3. We have 2 more questions. Question number 4, who will get votes at Tribal Council? So now you're just going to want to put 1 person for this. You have several chances, depending on how many people are getting votes, but just give us 1 person that you think will get votes during the next Tribal Council.
And these questions are based on the preview, right? That we didn't see.
You have to guess. It's about these are
the preview, right?
Sure, but we're playing this for next week's episode. These are what you think is going to happen on next week's episode.
I think Nora.
Okay, so you think Nora will be someone that will get votes, okay? And so you're going to want to put a 4, and then who you think it will be, and then last... I mean,
if you want to win this game, of course, Karishma.
And finally, question 5, who do you think will be voted out at Tribal? Who do you think will be voted out at Tribal? That is question 5.
Dean.
What? Don't you dare. You're a horrible, horrible little man. Okay, so we're going to go over them one more time very quickly. I'm going to, so you are allowed to change your answers. Whatever you put as your last time is going to be what locks in. Whatever your answers are, the last time you put them in are what will lock in. We're going to do them one more time quickly in case any of you missed them. All right? So here we go. Question 1 is who will win the immunity challenge? If you've already answered and you're happy with your answer, you don't need to answer again. But question 1 is which tribe will win the immunity challenge? Question 2, who will go to the island of the idols? So put a 2 in your answer. If you think nobody, you can put nobody. If you're happy with what you've already answered, you don't need to put anything. Question 3, which tribe will win the reward? So you're going to want to put a 3 in your answer. Volkai, of course, Volkai. Question 4, who will get the votes? Who will get votes at Tribal Council? So you're just going to want to put a 4 and only name 1 person. Who do you think is someone that will get votes at Tribal Council? And
or KP.
Right. And then the last question, who will be voted out at Tribal? That is your question 5. So now, the way that this will work, TVCo is going to go over everybody's answers after the episode next Wednesday night. I am always here watching Survivor live with you guys on Wednesday nights, so you can come back to TVCo, watch it live right here with me. Then when John and I do our recap show next Thursday, at the end of the episode, we will let you know which one of you won the $100. Whoever got the most questions, the most answers correct, you will win the $100. And then we will do the game again for the following week. I'm only leaving the game in this version of the edited show for those of you that are watching it back, so that you know. In the future episodes, know that it is still happening if you guys come and watch live, but I don't know that people are going to want to watch this part on the playback when it doesn't apply anymore. You know what I mean, John? The moral
Absolutely. We have to put the little banner right here, right? That says...
All the people need to know is make sure you download the TVCo app.
Quiz is closed.
Exactly. Quiz is closed. Make sure you download the TVCo app and watch us when we do these shows live. It's much more fun. You get to hang out in the chat. And of course, we're going to be covering more than just Survivor here. We're going to be starting our challenge shows, as well as Real Housewives of Atlanta starts. And so does Jersey. And we're going to be starting those recaps on TVCo too, which I'm very excited for. John, where can the people find you on social media?
Everywhere at Comedy Jonah.
Everywhere on Comedy Jonah. And of course, you guys can follow me, Reality Recaps, everywhere. We hope you guys enjoyed the Survivor show. Don't forget to comment below if you guys are watching this back. Let us know what you think. Share the TVCo app with your friends. Get them to come watch it live with us. And we'll see you guys all on the next show. I'm going to wrap this show up now, John. I'm going to remind everybody again really quickly. If you guys missed any of our past shows, you can watch them all back at yourrealityrecaps.com/Survivor for this season of Survivor or any of the previous seasons of Survivor. While you're on our website, make sure you check out our Big Brother 21 shows. We interviewed all of the house guests post-season. They're all over there, not just for BB21, all the past seasons of Big Brother, as well as our drag race shows, challenge recap shows, amazing race shows. Just all of our content is over on our website. Go check it out. We'd really appreciate it when you guys do. Of course, sharing our content, putting it in places where people might not know of it, sharing it on social media networks, telling your friends about it. Those are all great free ways to help support our shows. Of course, thumbsing up and subscribing if you're watching on YouTube, hitting the bell, leaving a comment below. Great ways to help support our show. iTunes or wherever you listen to our podcast, give it a 5-star rating and a nice review. It really, really means so much to us. Of course, if you love the bracket and want your chance to win $100, make sure you guys download the TVCo app and watch us do this show live. Hang out in the chat room. It really is a ton of fun. yourrealityrecaps.com/TVCo. It's where we do all of our shows live, as well as over on YouNow, yourrealityrecaps.com/YouNow. We're live in both of those places every day, so make sure that you're following us in both of them. Lastly, if you want to help support our shows, consider becoming a patron at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. You get access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows just for patrons, and so much more. You could always do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal, or if you have any Amazon shopping to do, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon. You don't pay any more, and it really helps support our shows. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in and watching. I really, really appreciate it. We are starting more shows next week. I'll see you guys then. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.